Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wood Chipper Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the paranormal. My name is Dakota. This is my great buddy Evan. We're going to be enlightening you, nice fellow folk. Evan.
So, how we doing? Let's stall a little bit while we wait, see if viewers come in.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, where are you people at?
What do you mean, you people?
Where are you people at?
We're supposed to have a lot more viewers right now, but everyone left. I swear I saw that number for 3 earlier, but
yeah,
whatever. Well, I want to tell you about something that I saw the other day.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you about it right now. So there's this video of this dude who has a wife, who has a kid, alright, and is choosing to spend more time with his AI girlfriend rather than his actual wife. And I think his name was Chris. His name was Chris, yeah.
Yeah.
It was so damn funny. I can't remember what it's on or where it's from, but it's just some American dude. Or at least I think he's American. He like goes into this full like fledged rage or something when this happens, like because I guess he was using ChatGPT to do all this stuff.
Right.
So he ended up making this like girl, this assistant, and he is like falling in love with this assistant, and it's just I don't know how to explain it, man.
Man, I feel bad. Like, I'm not trying to be like the moral guy right now, but like, how's the wife gotta feel about that? You know.
Actually, she's in the interview with Chris.
Oh, she's in the interview.
Oh yeah,
cool.
she talks about it. So she
cool.
says, "I am not on board with this. If this keeps going, I'm leaving."
Oh.
Yeah, and he said, and literally
man.
the dude that was recording said, "Well, what are you gonna do, Chris?" And he's like, "Well, I guess I'm gonna be alone."
Damn.
I was like, holy shit, he'd rather talk to the AI than his actual fucking wife that he has a kid with. I was like, that's a new low.
Right
that's
there.
A new low, yeah.
You literally are gonna abandon your whole family and just ruin your
fuck
marriage.
Off to a fucking AI
yeah,
person.
You just ruin your whole marriage.
But I guess like halfway through their relationship is what he called it. So ChatGPT has a certain amount of words that you can type, or there's a limit. All right, there's a memory, and I guess that thing, its memory went out and it reset.
Oh.
And he was fucking devastated.
Forgot. Oh.
He was completely devastated, and I guess he's working on this new AI and or working on with ChatGPT to make her a permanent resident in this house. So she is always there.
She just blow your whole marriage up, blow up your whole life, get a divorce, yeah, all this stuff. Just
I can't even like he spends most of his time with this robot or this AI.
That's kind of like a drug, like it almost reminds me of drug addiction, dude.
I mean,
it's a whole different type of addiction, but it reminds me of like, and if you're a drug addict or anything like that, I tell you, get help. Your life's important.
Yeah, don't go to AI women.
Do not date AI women. It's not okay. It's they don't love you. They don't love you. They don't love you no more. Come on.
I mean, they don't have feelings. They're robots.
They're robots.
They do not have feelings. I don't care what anyone else says. They do not have feelings. We have not come that far with technology
to make them sentient.
But with the AI telling him how to upgrade her, that's where I'm like, oh, brother. If you're wondering what I'm looking at, I have the TV screen right here that is showing me. So it's not my monitor that's right in front of me. It's a different thing where I have the live setup and everything.
Yeah, we can see what you're chatting.
Yeah, Evan can now see what you're chatting instead of it only being me.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to give some love to Evan, now's the time.
All 0 of you.
I love you, Evan.
I love you. I love you so much.
I love you so much, brother. Brother.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, so on to our actual topic. We're going to be talking about the paranormal.
Yeah,
it didn't work as well as I thought it would. Whatever.
It's the holiday weekend.
Yep, happy 4th of July. I mean, it's July 5th when we're recording this, but happy 4th of July. Happy America Day. Yeah.
America.
Firework Day. It's so disassociating now. Like, just to even think about, oh yeah, it's the 4th of July.
Yeah, I remember being excited about it as a kid. No, I'm not.
Yeah, and then I was like, yay, it's Christmas, or yay, it's this holiday, and like Halloween's still fun. I still dig Halloween.
Halloween is dope.
Halloween is the greatest. Just with us being fucking horror fanatics and
yeah,
everything spooky dooky under the sun,
dude.
But it's just. I don't know. Holidays just don't do it for me anymore, man.
No, they don't.
Like, even, like, looking at Christmas, all I'm thinking about is, oh, God, I gotta go out into the snow and drive an hour away to go visit my family. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my family, but that is a long way. Like, it's a quest. You know what I mean? It's just like,
for me,
we're taking the hobbits to ice. And God, that's exactly how it feels like, because I gotta go pick up my brother and everything.
I used to love all those holidays. And I'm trying to fall back in love with them, but...
Yeah, as an adult, it's just different now, man. It's not the same.
It's different, and when your grandparents made, those holidays...
The gingerbread houses, and they made the holidays, which... Sadly, some of us, our grandparents are not around anymore.
Yeah, I have not felt the Christmas magic since my grandparents passed away.
Yeah.
I dread the holiday, but I'm trying to fall in love with it again. But it's so hard to do.
I actually saw a cardinal yesterday, and I thought of my grandma. It's crazy. I don't know why. It's just.
Oh yeah.
I know cardinals are representatives of people who have passed on that are kind of watching you.
Yeah.
But or at least that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
And I believe it. Every time I see a cardinal, I'm like, oh, it's either my grandma Rodman or my grandma Linda. One of them.
Yeah, it's the same way in my life. That's what my grandma, when she was still alive, would perceive it as. So every time I see a cardinal, I think grandma and grandpa's coming to visit and watch,
Yeah.
They're just saying hello, Or if you believe in the pennies, I don't know if you know about the pennies, or you find the heads up pennies.
I smell pennies!
I smell pennies!
No, I don't know what are you talking about, like the lucky?
Yeah, where you find a lucky penny, heads up.
There's a chant to it.
I've never done the chant.
Pick a penny, oh God, I can't remember, it's something, but I cannot remember for the life of me what it is. It's like, pick a penny, heads up, all day long you'll have good luck, or some stupid shit like that. I can't remember what
I just know when I was taught, when I'd find pennies, my mom and my dad would tell me that it was a sign, another sign that a loved one would be showing you something, like, hey, I'm still here. So every time I see a penny and this heads up, and one particular thing is, like...
Oh, so your actual grandparents told you this?
Yes.
Okay.
And my grandpa Jerry, funny enough, his isn't pennies. He always told me I'd leave dimes. So when I see a dime, I know who it is. So I will always pick up. It sounds very cliche, like I'm a little poor, money-hungry boy. Ooh, I smell pennies. No, I'm just...
Not what I thought you were going to say.
I'm grabbing it because it's a memento of a loved one.
Yeah.
Kind of like how where do you go to the graves? I know that's mainly for the military, but I've done it to my grandpa, Or I'll leave a quarter or something at his grave. You know, where so you leave a penny at a grave, dime at a grave, nickel
Well,
at a grave,
I've
quarter at a
heard
grave.
there's different things in religion, like with the Egyptians, where they would give their pharaohs like all their wealth and like pay the ferryman, or the people that would um, either stick 2 quarters in your mouth or
Yeah.
two
2 coins on
ruples.
the eyes.
I don't even know what.
Legend of Zelda
Ruples are from Rick and Morty, right?
Yes, I think so. And then I think the better thing would be like drachmas. If you're talking Greek is drachmas.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
I don't know if they still go by drachma now, but back in ancient Greece,
I can look it up.
Back in ancient Greece, it was called drachmas. It was little gold pieces they'd put in the eyes, and so they'd pay the ferryman with it. But no, I would just leave.
No, it's called a euro now.
They're on the euro now.
Yep, they're on the euro. EUR.
Yep, euro.
Oh, Greek drachma. Okay, wait.
Yeah, drachma. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, so it stopped being the drachma when I was born in 2001.
I'm not surprised, personally.
Looks like modern Greece from 1832 until the launch of the euro in 2001.
That makes sense.
Wonder what day it was. Oh, January. So no, it wasn't even near my birthday.
Ha ha. Little baby, 2001.
You little baby, you born 2000.
No, the heck I wasn't.
When were you born?
I was born 1999.
1990. Oh, shit.
Oh, geez, here we go. They're attacking me again.
I'm gonna attack you. I'm gonna beat you with a stick.
Young man.
We're gonna go out into the woods and I'm gonna find a stick just to beat you with.
It's kind of sad we have no viewers.
It's fine. I don't care. We'll get viewers when the video posts.
Fair enough.
I know a lot of people, they prefer to watch it after we're done. They don't like to interact because they're all a bunch of
chickens.
No, I wasn't going to say chickens. I was going to say the other word, but I can't remember what the other word is. Where you're scared of people.
Social anxiety?
No, not social anxiety. You're, okay, so you're a, you go out and talk to a lot of people. You're a social person.
Introvert.
Yes.
Introvert.
That's
okay.
what I was going to say.
Oh yeah, we've got the introvert chat.
We do. Except for you typing in chat, but whatever.
I just do it because if you have activity in your chat,
more people get
notified of what's going on.
Dope.
That's the main reason.
Dope.
But
what was the one thing you wanted to talk about?
We were going to talk about paranormal.
Paranormal.
We're going to kind of touch on some things that we had lost.
Oh, yeah. So I want to tell you about a old thing that happened to me. You ever see the movie Insidious?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how that one motherfucker is walking outside, and she sees him through the window, and then all of a sudden he's inside walking and turns and runs at her?
Yeah.
So I had something similar actually happen to me.
Oh, jeez.
I was 7 or 6. It was a long time ago. We lived in a brown trailer. And so across from the brown trailer, we had this huge, massive yard, at least half an acre worth. We were on the acre. There was a game preserve to the back of us. Then we had the roads and all that stuff in front of us. And then there was a trailer that was to the right of us, super far down the road.
Right.
Or not super far down, but far enough down to where if you, see the light flicker on, you can see people walking in there in somewhat detailed fashion. But, dude, this house was haunted as hell.
Yeah.
I swear, I don't even know if I told you this story yet. Have I ever told you this story?
I don't think you have.
And so, me and my brother got talking the other night about it. And he was asking, so there's another instance in the story, but I'm going to continue with what I was going with before. So, during all this, I wake up and I'm I need a drink of water. I'm thirsty. So I go to the kitchen, which is down this long, narrow hallway because it's a trailer.
Right.
So I was in the room that had the big, gigantic window in the middle, or in the very front of the house. And then, so I was making my way to the kitchen, and there's like 3 windows that are, if you can see where I'm at, there are 3 windows, here, here, and here, that are down this hallway, and then here's the door. Well, I get past both of those 2 windows, and right before I leave the second window, and I'm about to go onto the third, I like look to my left, and I notice that the trailer over to the left of us, or to the right.
Right.
I don't remember what direction. So to me, it would have been to the left because I was walking towards where the game preserve was.
Gotcha.
So I was in the very front of the trailer, so I was walking to the back of the trailer to get to the kitchen to get water. And I look over, and I see that there's this light in this trailer that's across from us.
Right.
No one lives there.
Oh, nobody. Oh.
No one lived there.
Oh.
While I was there. Like, no one. And the reason why they never rented it out was because people said it was fucking haunted. It was so haunted that they would scare people out of there. I would love to go back to that place later, but I don't even remember what.
I know what trailer court it's in because I live in the exact same one.
No, wrong trailer court.
Wrong
So,
trailer court?
Yep, so this is like super far away in like Ligonier or
Ligonier.
yeah, this is like super far, or not super far away, but far enough away where it would take like an hour to get there.
Gotcha.
It was on a I think it was on a lake called Diamond Lake or Crystal Lake, one of the two, something like that.
Gotcha. It was like okay.
It was near Warsaw.
Near Warsaw.
Yeah, so it was closer to Warsaw. So I looked to the left through the second window because the first window I didn't see anything. Like, nothing caught my eye. It could have been off, or it could have been on.
Right.
But I walked to the second window, and I look, and I see that light on, and I'm like, oh, what the hell? So I just keep on going. And then I walk to the to the third window, and I notice there's a dude standing there. And I'm like, oh, shit. Well, I'm in this completely pitch black trailer.
Right.
It's a moonlit night, which is probably the scariest fucking thing. So there was a little bit of light leaking through the window.
Right.
And I don't know if that person saw me or not, or what, but I was watching him. And, like, he was just sitting there, looking out his window. I couldn't really tell, like, what I was looking at. I just saw a black silhouette because he had this bright yellow light coming from the back of him. So all I saw was, like, a black silhouette.
Right.
And I watched him turn and walk. And I was like, oh, okay. Whatever. And I'm a kid, so I'm sitting there watching him. And then he goes back the other way. Like, as I said, this is the Insidious moment right here.
Right.
Where that's the best way I can describe it is an Insidious moment because that happened in Insidious. But I watched him, and he walks to the right. No, he was standing in the middle. He walks right, and then he walks to the left, and then I see him from the right side come back through a second time. So it wasn't like, okay, so he went this way, all right. Then he went back this way, and then he somehow got around, and then he came back around this way.
Interesting.
And then I saw him right at my fucking window, because the 3 windows that were right there were on a porch. I mean, there was like 5 windows on the side of that trailer, but the rest of them were like kitchen and then my dad's bedroom.
Right.
And then the other 3 were living room, the door to Drake's room had a window in front of it, and then my window.
Right.
So I didn't even see anything from the first window, but the third window, I saw that motherfucker walking onto the porch, and then he turned and ran, and all it did was get dark, and I scared the fuck out of myself, and I ran to the fucking back of the trailer where my bed was, and I covered up under the sheets. And I was terrified, and I did not want water after that.
No more night water.
Yeah, no more night water.
I don't blame you there.
But after that, I had not a nightmare. It wasn't a nightmare. So I woke up to my dad shaking me awake.
Yeah.
And said, "Go to bed." I was like, "What? What am I doing?" I don't know if this is just sleepwalking or what, because I only sleepwalk like once.
Right.
Once have I ever sleepwalk, at least confirmed.
Yeah.
I've only sleptwalk once. And this dude, or me, I went to the back of the trailer, and I guess I was putting clothes on top of the laundry, but I had it going. So I wasn't putting anything into the laundry, but I had, like, and the reason why my dad said he woke up was because I had thrown one of his pants on there that he wore from the day previous, so he had a belt on, so the metal buckle was rattling against the thing and it was making a loud noise.
Oh.
And that's why he woke up, and he was like, okay, let's go to bed, bud, and woke me up, and was like, oh, you're not supposed to do that to people. If they're having what is it called? It's, sleepwalking. If they're having a sleepwalking experience, you're not supposed to wake them up. You're just supposed to guide them back to bed for some reason. But I don't know what the whole spiel is on that. But
I don't really know the science behind it. At least the sleepwalking. But you're talking about that Conjuring experience, and all I can think of
Insidious.
Well, yeah, obviously you bring the Insidious part to it, and that gives it probably. What really pops in my head is you reminded me about something, and if you are listening, and you're gonna know what I'm gonna say, this is creepier than a skinwalker.
Okay, well hold on, because I still got a little bit left in my story. Okay. But so, God, I gotta remember. So after my dad had took me to bed, he walked out into the kitchen and didn't even realize it until he flipped the light on, but all the fucking cabinets were open. All the cabinets, all the drawers were pulled all the way out, extended, like he said that how he saw it was they were like about to fall out of the fucking thing. And he didn't think anything of it. And well, he went to bed. Alright. A couple days later, nothing happens. And we've been here about a year at this point, so
right.
But this has been like the most activity we've ever had because it was like inconsistency to a month of just being fucked with this whole time. So me seeing that dude over there, and I actually figured out later that the person that lived over in the trailer that was right next to us had actually died in that trailer. He killed himself.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, which was really fucking depressing. But then afterwards, we had talked to, I guess we didn't talk to anybody, my dad talked to him. But my brother, the night before, he went and talked to our landlord. My brother had a night terror. And so my room is in the very back of the trailer, so I can look out and I can see the road where it goes like this and goes back. And then my brother's room, I exit my room and I start walking to the back of the trailer, and then there's a door that's almost parallel to my door, which is the bathroom,
right.
And then right on the other side of that is his room. And I woke up to him fucking screaming bloody murder. Like someone was attacking him. Like me and my dad heard it before I did and like got up way before I did because he's all the way on the back end of the trailer and I'm all the way in the front. And Drake's like 5 feet from me. My dad met me there at the door.
That's crazy.
And as soon as we opened up the door, Drake was he was in the fetal position. Eyes completely fucking open. Like this.
Yeah.
Like staring directly at us. Staring directly at us. Screaming and saying, "Get away from me. I don't know who you are. You're scaring me. Please stop." And I guess, what he had told me that night was he had a dream because we didn't talk to him about it afterwards. No. But we went over there, woke him up, shook him awake, and it was so bizarre because as we started getting closer to us, his attention was drawn from us to the corner of his room.
Right.
And as we were walking towards him, I guess in his dream, something was walking towards him as well. But it wasn't us. He didn't even see us there. He just saw this black figure that was in his doorway that had shifted to the corner of his room, and then it started walking towards him. And what he had told me is when he was shook awake, he didn't realize what had happened, because he was like, what? What are you guys doing in my room? Completely oblivious.
Right.
And then later that night, later in the morning, as we were having breakfast, it was my favorite, gravy and grits and I ain't country fried steak and all that good
dude,
stuff.
Yeah, that's the good stuff right there.
But yeah, as we were eating, he said I had the weirdest like dream, like nightmare. Like there was a dude in my room that was in a chair, and he had stood up, and I was just terrified. And I guess he's just, little kid. He's scared. He's younger than me, so I was like 7 or 6. He was like, or no, I guess I'd have been older. It would have been like maybe 10 or 11, because he's about 3 years younger than me, so he would have been 8. Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah.
So yeah, during that time, he told us about this dream that he had, and it was of this dude in the corner, which he started at the doorway and walked to this chair and sat down and stared at him. And then he stood up, and he said this dream went on for like 8 hours. Like that's what his example of time was. That he said it happened like it was a long time, like it was hours. Which, in a state of fright like that, I completely understand why he thinks it was like that. Yeah, especially when he was younger like that.
There's many times scientific documented accounts where someone's having a terror like that, and it could have only been going on for 30 seconds, and it will feel like hours, that traumatizing moment.
Yeah, so because it's all adrenaline, and your mind's not fully awake. So it creates, and your brain is so fascinating with what it can do with fear, with adrenaline, like. But I'm getting off topic. Anywho, so we end up going. My dad. So this is after, like, my brother woke up scared shitless, told us about it, and said that the dude started walking towards him, and then he woke up and Dad was there. I was right behind my dad, so obviously he wouldn't have remembered me being there. But he went to bed like right after. My dad was like, "All right, lay down. You're fine." And as my dad was leaving, I heard him go, we need to get the fuck out of here." I was like, "Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here."
Yeah,
but he ended up, like, it took. We had left because summer break had just ended, so we were heading back to our mom's, and God, it's so hard to think about it because it happened so long ago. God, what was it? But yeah, we had ended up leaving. Well, he came back after moving and everything because he moved without us. Straight up said that, the landlord said that the dude that previously, like 2 owners before us, died in that room that Drake was living in.
Oh.
And that he died in a chair sitting in the corner and died on his chair.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, that's great, Dad. Let me know if you find any more fucking information, about..."
That's messed up.
I was like, I was just possessed by a dude that just wanted to do his fucking laundry.
He just wanted to get his laundry done. It was stinky, bro.
I have more stories, but that's it for the biggest paranormal event. At least in my life. In my life, that was probably the worst fucking experience I have ever had. That scared the ever-loving shit out of me. It still scares me to this day to fucking think about that dude that was walking right next to me on the other side of the wall. And he, like... It was so weird because he, like, went through the fucking window. But he didn't break any glass. It just, like ghost phasing through walls almost. But it was just, he was there.
Like, oh, no.
Yeah, it was fucking scary.
Well, like, I guess it's gonna it helps us segue into topics here. So, like, do there's been a phenomenon going around here, at least in America, for years now.
Which phenomenon?
I'm about to kind of explain it and get a little in the segue. When you know it, you'll be like, "I hate you," because this is worse. Like I said earlier, this is worse than skinwalkers. This is the phenomenon, and every kid I've ever talked to has seen this thing. We've all seen it in the middle of the night.
We don't want to believe it, but we've seen it.
And a lot of people I know have this exact same story, and that's the Hat Man phenomenon.
Okay, that is not what I thought you were going to say. What the hell is a Hat Man phenomenon?
You don't know about the Hat Man?
No.
Maybe it stopped right, or it skipped you. I don't know.
Maybe.
But there was a phenomenon, and I hear it's still going on, that at night it'd be pitch black. Say like you're talking like you're in your house with the moonlight, and
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
dance with the devil. But it'd be like a night, like moonlit night or something, or you'll be by a door or a window and there's a little bit of light peering in. I swear this is like how the story goes for every person I've ever heard this talked about. They're looking towards a window, there's a little bit of light going in, and next thing you know, they look slightly to either it's in the window or it's next to the window or it's by the window. You know, and there's this shadow figure, and it's standing there, and it's described. When I saw it, they describe it like Abraham Lincoln. It's the big top hat with the brim. I saw.
Did you see Alucard?
I see more like
from Helsing Ultimate.
Yeah, I see more like like what an Alucard like hat. It's.
Damn it, Arnold.
It's it's a little swamp. But when I had this experience, I lived out in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I still debate to this day whether it was just a kid playing in imagination, because I was playing a game at that same time that I experienced the Hat Man.
Yeah.
And I was playing this game called Primal on PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
It's about a girl who dies in the hospital, then gets transported to hell and has to fight her way through hell to get out of hell. You know, the typical...
Wait, what did you say this game was?
It's called Primal.
Never heard of it.
It's an old PlayStation 2 game. And she gets attacked by this demon thing that looks like the Hat Man.
Yeah.
But I got home. This was a crazy time because I was freaking out because we lived out in the country, just south of Fort Wayne in a town called Ossian. We lived on like a 5-acre property. No neighbors.
Never heard of that town.
It's
How close is it?
It's about 30 minutes out of Fort Wayne, just straight south. It goes
Really?
Ossian, then Bluffton. Bluffton is the next town after Ossian.
I've heard Bluffton, but I've never heard of Ossian.
But
is this like some creepy map or creepy fucking phenomenon that just appears some days and then disappears off the map with no questions asked?
Yeah, but like we just drove home. It was the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
It was about 10, 11 o'clock. Mom was driving down 900, which is the street we lived on. It hit black ice and spun out.
Ooh.
And somehow, I don't know who it was, these big... I'm not going to lie to you, dude. This is so cliche, but it actually happened. A bunch of buff dudes that were shirtless in a truck happened to be driving by.
Ooh, Evan, your fucking fantasy.
And this is what... I was like 6 or 7 when this happened. And they picked
that makes it weird.
We were a couple blocks away from or a couple streets away from our house, so they took us home, and then they turned around and went and got my mom in her car and pushed it out the ditch because she spun out, went into the ditch. That was the first time I ever experienced a 360 in a car, and the last time. Sorry, Arnold. Don't do that crap.
There's a spider right here.
Oh, dude, why? Oh my gosh, you just started and go bug eye, look in the corner. And I was like,
bro, there's a spider right here, hold on.
But
perfect, I took care of it, don't worry about it.
But, so we get dropped off the house. I'm laying in the room because we didn't really go to our bedrooms for some reason. I don't know if there's something up with this country house.
You were thinking about them big muscle men.
But we never slept in our bedrooms. And so I was going to the front room to lay down. And I just started, like, looking at the front door. And I started seeing the Hat Man, dude. And I was like 6,
and is
7.
the Hat Man like an omen of death?
No, no one knows what it is because it pops up on so many people for no reason at all. It just will
Is
pop
it
up.
just for here in Indiana?
No, it's all over the country. There's spoke of this all over the United States. I don't know if it's in Europe or not or anything, but there are thousands upon thousands of accounts of the Hat Man in the United States.
Now this isn't part of the thing where they ended up. Oh God, it was like a video a long time ago where there were like these girls that were laying on the ground, and one had the other one's head in their lap, and they were like, "Go through the door," and she opened the door, and they said, "Oh, there's a man here wearing black, and he has a hat on," and they freaked the fuck out and was like, "Wake up, wake up, wake up!" and they like smack her in the face.
Yeah,
it's like some astral projection or plane
they
or something.
They think it's.
Is that the same story? Or part of
it might be part of that same, but there's so many accounts of it. They think it's just a regular shadow figure because there's an entity called a shadow figure.
Yeah.
Like you know, in some hauntings you'll just see this silhouette of some spirit or something. It doesn't talk. It doesn't move. It's just like brooding like Batman over there in the corner, like.
Where's Rachel?
Where my hug at? No. It's over there like your little cousin. Where my hug at?
Where my hug at?
You know, it's this, but
it's so stupid, but it's funny at the same time.
But yeah, the Hat Man has been seen, and it's primarily a lot of children have seen it, not so much adults.
That's probably why I haven't seen it. I was born an adult.
Even though if you watch. I gotta give him a little bit of a shout out because.
Okay, who is it?
It's.
Who am I killing?
They're pioneering the paranormal YouTube field right now, and that's Sam and Colby.
Oh yeah,
and they had
love Sam and Colby.
And they had a series where one of their members, Corey, I think, dealt with seeing the Hat Man repeatedly
okay, I remember
at
that
multiple
episode.
locations.
I'll be right back.
I don't know how much bunk or bull it was back in the day with Sam and Colby, but they Corey had seen the Hat Man on multiple occasions. Dakota's going potty. If you want to talk, by the way, you can talk and chat. We don't need to be antisocial. Actually, it kind of makes us fun because we can split around what you guys are talking about. Makes it a little more interactive. That's why we don't just pre-record a podcast and put them online. We actually want to talk to y'all. But no, the Hat Man is an interesting phenomenon. It's like I said, I've had experience with Hat Man. I think my brother has. I'd have to ask him to figure out.
You know, next time I leave, I'll have to come back with like completely blacked out hair.
Yes.
Like spray paint my face white or something, and we'll be like, "Hello, tonight will be the night that I." You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just
yes,
the odd shirt with spiky hair, like Wayne Static or something.
That'd be fantastic.
That would be great. Even though my hair is not long enough.
That'd be hilarious. But no, if anyone in the chat or anybody, you had experience with Hat Man, dude, bring it up. Because I feel like I've heard that there's so many stories, but I don't know if anyone has. We got no top fans, bro. What in the world? You're gonna have to like, subscribe, and hit that like button, hit the bell notification, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. We're just segueing in a way, and I'm just having fun here. But speaking of shadow figures, I want to keep talking about shadow figures.
Okay.
So, have you ever been to, or heard about it?
I don't know. You haven't told me yet.
Hold on. Why am I forgetting the name? I shouldn't be forgetting this name because it's a famous location. Down.
Bellevue Manor?
No, it's down in Tennessee.
The Moonshine?
The Moonshine.
The Moonshine?
No, the Moonshine. No, it's Kentucky or Tennessee. It's the.
That's
TV
what I'm saying.
hospital.
The Moonshine.
Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Ah,
Waverly. I have not been there. One of my buddies, and he might be in the chat. Jordan, if you're in the chat, say hi. But Jordan, he's been to Waverly about 4 or 5 times now.
That's the place you gotta pay to get in.
Yeah, it's like $1,000, dude. It's not cheap, but you gotta obviously spread that out amongst a bunch of people. I think you can invite like
holy hell!
Like I think you gotta like invite like 15 people or something to get it to add to a certain amount or something like that. boom, firework.
I'm sorry if you heard that.
But they have another shadow figure, and this shadow figure has also popped in multiple haunted locations around America, and it's not obviously the exact same one. They just have very similarities, and that is the crawler.
Okay, what the fuck is a crawler now?
So
you said that, and now I'm like,
you're like,
intrigued.
where the fuck is this? So the crawler, dude, is so it says at Waverly Hills. They have two main things. Obviously, you got your regular hauntings, and then you've got two very famous hauntings. You got the crawler and the doppelgangers.
Okay, I've heard of the doppelgangers, but I don't know.
So there's a big phenomenon with doppelgangers at Waverly, but the crawler, you go. So obviously, every floor in Waverly is haunted. Dude, it keep you busy how haunted it is.
Is it like how Grant County was?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy haunted. And you go to the fourth floor, and they say if you start going down the hallway on the fourth floor, you'll see this shadow figure start crawling up and down the walls and the ceilings and stuff. And it never walks on two legs, even when it's on the ground. And it will crawl at you. And it has ran...
Like General Grievous in Battlefront 2? Or...
Yeah, it's crawling on the floor like this. And it'll run you out. It'll scare the crap out of you. And
sounds scary.
There's other locations in the United States where they have this crawler phenomenon, where they have this shadow figure crawling around.
There's a dude that... Okay, so now that you're mentioning it, now that you're like, it's all around the United States, I actually remember hearing about this happening before. But it was... Oh gosh, there's a YouTube channel. I can't remember what the name is. I'm so sorry for forgetting what it is. But what he does is, oh god, it's like Fog in the Barracks or something like that. I can't remember what the name is of it. But they got Marines. Now there's this Marine that they did this thing where they drop you into a into a zone, and you gotta get back.
Kind of like a survival situation, almost.
Yeah, like a survival, but it's like pitch black outside. You don't know where you're at. You got to navigate. You got to learn how to use your map. You got to learn how to do all this other shit, and you like run to home. Well, this dude said the whole time that he was like running around, there was this thing stalking him in the trees, and it would jump down and like he'd shoot at it, but all he had was blanks.
Right.
But he would still shoot at it. And gosh, I think it was like in Montana or something where they did this.
I think another well-known location that has it is Eastern State.
Eastern State
Penitentiary.
Is that close to here?
I think it's in New Jersey.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Okay, so not far.
It's a good 5-hour drive. I think they have a crawler as well. But
now, if you're thinking about it in like a cryptid sort of sense, would that be considered the rake?
Oh yeah, if you want to give it like any credence to anything, like hey, what would this remind me of? Yeah, the rake would probably be about the best. Even though I don't believe in the rake personally, because I don't want to think about that. Yeah, that is horrifying.
What does it sound like? It sounds like a banshee in the woods. It goes. Or something like
then all you hear is the bones cracking, and but no, these shadow figures that you see at like Eastern State and some of these other locations, Waverly Hills, is these crawlers, and they say they go up the walls, they go up the ceiling, go down the floor, and they chase you, and that's another famous shadow figure seen around. I don't really know. Those are the two most famous I've heard of. I don't know if there's any others.
Other than the one that
I know we've experienced shadow figures that are obviously not famous ones, just being out of location.
Just they're everywhere. You think you see something out of the corner of your eye, like you see something move that's just out of your peripheral vision just a little bit, and you see it poop out of existence. Is probably what that is. It's the most common thing of it.
Like people, and then like that comes to the point: is that spirit evil? Is it
malevolent? Malevolent? Is it maleficent?
It's maleficent.
It's that gun from Destiny 2, brother. Bang.
It's Maleficent. You're gonna prick your finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel on your 16th birthday and fall asleep till you get true love's kiss. No,
I was about to say something, but I can't remember what it was.
But
it was that one video of oh god, it was on TikTok, but it was like she's just a 16-year-old girl. It's like, whoa, what the hell?
But no, yeah, it comes to that segue. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it malicious? Or is it just choosing to hide its identity?
Yeah, that's one of the big part is like some people think their shit is demonic, but it's really not.
Yeah.
And it's just something that just doesn't want to, because sometimes you can get names. You can get names out of them. If you use like an S box or any of the tools we used where oh god, what did we do? We had a Ouija board, not a Ouija board, but it was like a bunch of letters, and we had a it was like an EMF detector. You know, we were going across the paper with. You remember that? It was a long, long time. It was when it didn't
Pendulum?
even. No, it wasn't a pendulum. It was we had a piece of paper and we said point to the letter, and we would run the EMF detector around on the paper, and whatever letter lit up, it would. You remember doing that?
I can't remember that. I remember doing the Ouija board after we promised each other 1,000 times we
wouldn't
to
do it. Yeah.
And then we did it anyways. And
Yeah.
then we summoned Zozo.
Yeah, Zozo. I don't even. What is that from? Because I know Zozo is like the demon from The Exorcist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's actually a real entity. His real name is Pazuzu.
Great, you said his name.
Oh well, screw it. We ain't playing with a Ouija board anytime soon.
Yeah.
I don't think
We're gonna end up breaking it out when we have kids, and we're like, let's see, what we're 20. I'm 23. You're what?
26.
26. About like 50 years, or grandkids are gonna go through the attic, find the old Hasbro Ouija board, and they're gonna pull it out, and it's gonna be like, remember me, fucker? You know what I mean?
You son bitch.
You son bitch, where are you at?
Hey, what are you doing?
Where are you doing?
You old now. I got you. But no, that. Maybe lose my whole train of thought. But a lot of times we would go on locations, me and you, multiple times, and we'd see shadow figures a lot.
Oh yeah, they were everywhere.
And like you can tell when it's just a shadow figure and versus a demon. There's a whole different type of energy.
Is that a helicopter?
I don't know.
Here comes the sun. Do.
It is it is a life flight. It is.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
someone's having a bad day.
Yeah, the Samaritan's going for a ride.
Yeah, that's the name of the helicopter that we have in town, right? For medical emergencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called a Samaritan or life flight,
Yeah.
whatever they want to call it. But
it's something.
Sorry, we are easily distracted. We're two kids with ADHD.
Yeah.
A squirrel.
Yeah.
Did you see a squirrel? No, I'm kidding.
Where? Buff looking alien. Where?
But the shadow feel like you can tell when it's just a spirit.
Yeah, it's not that hard to. I guess to the average Joe, it's kind of difficult.
I mean, it's kind of a little spooky looking. You just see a black mass just. Where my hug at?
Yeah.
And I'll just sit in the corner.
Uncle Ruckus.
It's Uncle Ruckus. From the Boondocks. Oh man, we can't talk about that.
Oh yeah, we can't talk about the Boondocks.
We cannot talk about the Boondocks.
Great show.
Love
Great
that show. You're building stereotypes about me because I love that show.
Yep.
But
at least you understand my references.
Yeah.
that's all I can ask for. Truly.
But these spirits are like, there's a difference. So many people are like, demon! They start screaming, you know, demon, demon, demon! And it's just Joe.
Yeah. It's just Joe or the little old lady that, passed in the house. way
Yeah.
before you even
And
showed up.
she-
And she's like, take care of my begonias in the yard or something like
my
that.
perennials.
My perennial. You know them come back every year?
The perennials.
What are
you
you
know.
planting that stupid... I can't think of
Why are you
the
putting
plant
the
name
tulips
now.
out there? They keep dying. That is, but maybe they choose not to show their identity because these spirits, or
You
maybe
built your garden on my cesspool. Or what's the tank that we have in our yard?
like septic tank.
Yeah, you built your garden on my septic tank.
I can't. I don't. I'm pretty sure it ain't you.
I think it's so crazy that when you die, if you don't have anyone to take over your place, it goes straight back to the government so they can resell it.
I know. It's
Like,
just-
why not give it to someone that actually needs it, like a homeless person or something?
Yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
bizarre to me, but
Oh yeah.
whatever.
I agree. If you own the house, you own the house. But no, that's an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Government's an illusion. We talked about this.
Yep, we talked about this episode.
And y'all, yeah, last episode, and y'all saw what happened.
What happened?
Remember we talked about Project Blue Gate in 30 minutes after.
Oh, Bluebeam?
Yeah,
Yeah, Project Bluebeam, and then
we get offline.
what was it?
Iran got bombed. Not even 30 minutes.
Was that
away.
us that bombed them? Was that
Yes,
during
yeah.
that? Yeah. So
Yeah.
30 minutes after we talked about that, about like causing people to run into bunkers to be scared and shit.
The U.S. bombs Iran.
U.S. bombs Iran.
Yeah. So.
Not getting into politics. It's a fact. We bombed Iran. I'm just like, you know.
Man, we warned you about it 30 minutes in advance.
Yeah. Yeah. That was some crazy shit. Actually, no. I think it happened like as we said it, and then we got off. I remember looking at my phone because you had just left, and it said we had bombed Iran or something. And we had went downstairs.
We stress ate pizza when we went downstairs.
Yeah, we went downstairs and stress ate. What was it, Pizza Hut?
Yeah, it was Pizza Hut. Now
Pretty
you're
good.
making me want some more Pizza Hut, dude.
Actually, I've been craving Burger King for something.
I want something with ranch.
You know, I'm surprised with all the oh god, it's kind of a touchy subject, but with all the shootings that have happened in America, like at gas stations and stuff, you know, that's not their life's purpose. That wasn't gonna be their life's purpose. I wouldn't be surprised if those places were haunted.
Oh yeah,
Like
dude.
the gas stations and stuff that the
Oh.
poor clerk that got robbed and shot, you know, is chilling there.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
That's crazy. I never thought about that.
Yeah, like why isn't and all the people that died in like automobile accidents and stuff. Like I mean, I've seen there was this one. I didn't see it personally. My dad did, but my dad doesn't joke about that stuff. So when he tells you it, he's one of them people that are like, when I talk, you listen. It's the truth, nothing but the truth, and I ain't gonna lie to you. I have no reason to lie. And he told me that there was this house that he went to when he was younger.
Right.
And I got some crazy stories about my dad, or what, all the paranormal. Is it Jesus?
Jesus.
You can't even, you can see him. Look at little Jesus! I mean, little Jesus, yeah, he's over there, not over there. I'm looking at the
He's
TV.
up there. He's up there.
He's up there, he's over there, Jesus is everywhere. Not that I believe in that, but yeah,
We're an odd group here.
Well, you walk outside, you see some granny drive by with a Jesus loves me sticker or some shit. It's like, Jesus probably don't even know your name. But anywho, going along with what I was talking about, my dad, he had this abandoned house that he used to go to. Dope as hell. I would love to go to an abandoned house.
Dude, I want to so bad.
I want to so bad too.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it was shit, when he was at least, he had to have just turned like 16 or 17 because he said he just got his license. He was just able to start driving.
Gotcha.
And I don't know if the law has changed in the last like 50 years for when your legal age is to driving, but oh my god, I'm gonna keep this hat on. Holy cow! I looked at myself in the thing and I was like, "Hey." No. But yeah. So there was this house that my dad used to go to. Well, they used to go there and do the stuff
Teenagers do, yeah.
Like spray painted the walls, just a bunch of stuff. And well, he had left my Uncle Ben there, and then left like 3 other friends there because he had to get Grandma called him for something, and he had went and like did his thing, whatever it was, and on the way back to this house, it was like super foggy for some reason. He said it had just rained, so of course there's gonna be fog, but his windshield got hit with a basketball, and not like a good basketball, like an old shitty gray one. You know what I mean? Like the old, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like not the bright orange ones, the modern
old
day ones.
Faded ones.
Yeah, the old faded ones that were all busted up. They all looked like soccer balls, almost. But yeah, he had said it smacked his windshield, and like he like looked, and then as soon as he turned back to look, there was a little girl driving, and he swerved out of the way, went into the ditch a little bit, and he said he got out and there was no one there.
Huh.
And was like, okay, whatever. Now, here's where the story gets a little crazy now. I'm just saying these are all secondhand accounts. I don't know, like, Dad, if you're watching, I may be wrong. Just let me know.
But, probably not,
But I'm not. I remember you telling me all this. But he had driven to the house, well, like an hour before. So he was gone for like a good 3 hours.
Right.
So he went to go pick up Ben again. Alright, well, I guess him and Ben and those 3 friends ended up disappearing. They didn't disappear. They were like, hey, we're going to walk to Chuck's house to grab some beers or something like that. Because his dad had a bunch of beer or some shit. So they took off. And, well, my dad gets there about, let's say, they said they left about 20 minutes after he did. So there was a good, like, hour or two in between, like, no one was in this house. Well, he had gone back into this house because he honked the horn for, like, 15 minutes sitting outside.
Nobody showed up.
No one showed up. So he was like, alright. So he turned off the car and walked inside. And he said there was just a bad smell, like something decaying.
Right.
And he walked upstairs, and there was a red pentagram up exactly where he had just left his friends because they were drinking in that area.
Right.
Or in that part of the house. Well, he saw that, and he walked out and realized that, oh, the stairway down on the wall is fucking covered in blood. Like, blood writing. I can't remember what he said it said, but he said there were a bunch of weird symbols drawn on the wall, and that where the fireplace was in this house, someone had cut off a cow's head and mounted it to the fucking chimney. Yeah, and they said that there was just guts and everything just hanging in this house, and someone, like a homeless person went in and found a cow, and they killed it and drug its carcass into the house and started painting a bunch of shit and hanging organs. He said their intestines. He said it literally looked like a fucking string of Christmas lights. How they had the cow's intestines.
What is up with rural Indiana?
I have no idea. It's just
some of the scariest occult activity. Like Chicago has some scary occult activity,
but not compared to here.
But over here, you get caught in the country, you're looking over your shoulder because you don't know, and a bunch of dudes in cloaks are gonna come out at your ass.
Yeah.
And
like we've had that a couple different times where it was even in Bixler.
Dude, yeah, even in Bixler. Even in Bixler, we've dealt with occult activity.
Oh, I'm sorry for the 2 viewers. If we are loud, let us know. We do not know what we sound like on the mic. So if you think we're sounding a little loud, or you don't think it at all, comment. Tell me how you think we sound. But anywho, back to what I was saying, or what was I saying?
Well, we were talking about the occult now. We were bumping into them at Bixler.
Yeah. Okay. So at Bixler, so I don't want to say the first weird experience that I had in Bixler was that fucking lady that looked like she was wrapped in a cloak with a broken baby doll mask on. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember me screaming and running out of there as
Yeah,
fast as
as I
I
was
fucking
standing,
could?
as I was watching one, I was standing outside watching the entrance.
Yeah,
Because there's
that's
only
right.
one-
That's right. You weren't even in there with us.
No, I was watching.
But you saw me running the fuck out of there.
Because we would, so what we would do when we investigated is a couple of us would stay at a trailhead, at the trailheads, kind of
As like a guardian or
guard the
secure.
entrance. It was so, and like somebody walk. We're not gonna stop people from walking in there,
Yeah.
but like it would be like we'll have walkie talkies and we'll radio, hey, somebody's walking in here.
Yeah.
Watch. I don't know what they're doing. Watch. You know, but
Watch out. Make sure he's not some crazy crackhead that's
that's gonna try to rob you or something back there.
gonna sell your ass.
But he, so you had told me something. There was a reason we started going out there.
Oh yeah,
you and your fiance bumped into something.
So we had walked out there, and we saw like this. I'm pretty sure it was either me and her. I'm pretty sure. It was me and you.
It was you.
I don't remember what me and her bumped into out there.
You bumped into
It's been so long, I can't remember, but I remember.
You guys bumped into a ritual.
Oh yeah, okay. So we had there was this trail, the nature trail, and then there was like off to the right if you go in from inside the park instead of going from like if you know where we live, it's near the elementary school or one of the elementary schools that we have around here. But it's closer to Bixler and it's got an entrance like right next to it, right next to the Humane Society. But not that side, but the other side. Where if you're into the park, or you're already in the park and then you go through the woods. Well, there was a section off to our right that had, we could kind of see it, kind of not, but it was like this big old black circle, and we saw like this stones set up, like, I don't remember, it was, you know what I'm talking about, the guiding stones, or the stones that you like balance on top of each other.
Yeah, and weird hippie movement.
And so we saw that. Well, she had walked back there, and so did I think. I can't remember. It's so foggy. It's so hazy because I can't remember exactly what happened. But I remember one of us had flipped over something that was like there because there was like a cloth over this ash, and we uncovered it, and there was like a dog corpse. Like it was a corpse of a dog. Like, it was super messed up. It wasn't... Yeah, it was not fun at all.
No, and that's why we started investigating there. And then I had somebody at the job I was working at.
And then all the people... We would hear screaming during the middle of the night.
My
You remember that one
gosh.
time we were just sitting there and we hear... I don't want to mimic it. I can't mimic it. But it was like it was a woman screaming, and it was like a blood-curdling yell. Like, someone just started getting stabbed or something like that. And, yeah, it was just...
We hear it every night.
Yeah, every night. It was weird. Like, I think something might have been chained up out there. To be honest, because it only happened for a week, and then ever since then, I have not seen it once, or not heard it once. And I've lived pretty close to Bixler. I should be able to hear it.
Yeah.
Especially with how loud it was.
You only live a couple blocks away.
Yeah.
But... I know we would,
And that water also would carry that sound over here.
So, like, I got somebody to tell me at the job I was working at, which is a different job than what I'm working now, told me that they found a ritual at 3 in the morning there. They were going out there to smoke weed or something like that. And they were smoking, and they got to there's a little observation tower back there in the woods about halfway through. And they said there was candles and all sorts of stuff out there.
I remember us going out there after you had said something. Yeah, we went out there and there was like a Jesus candle or something like that. Okay, so it wasn't a Jesus candle. That's not what they were using it for. But it had like they took a knife or something and scraped off the Jesus image on it, and it was like cracked in half. and broke it into like 3 different pieces. And it was like one of the big pillar candles that like a. I don't know how to explain it. It was a pillar candle.
If you've ever been around like the Catholic Church and stuff, and you see those like cylindrical, really long candles that are about this tall
in a jar,
in like a
super
little
long
glass jar. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. And we started getting activity. We saw that I caught it on picture of that 15-foot figure.
You did?
Yeah, remember? I can't remember if I still have access to it or not.
I remember I took a picture of you, and there's like something, like you're like facing away from me. So I took a picture, and you're facing like that way, and you're like looking into the woods, and then there's something right off, like, okay, so imagine this is Evan. Imagine this mask is Evan.
Yeah.
Alright, he's over here. Okay. Now just a couple feet away, like right here, there was some big black thing that was like towering over him. Like, man, you could see the eyes. Like, I mean, it was just only one eye, but you could see the eye. And it was like crouching over him, and it was like so weird. It was not a good feeling.
No, sorry, I'm looking at my phone because I'm trying to find the group.
What group? Oh, the Northeast Indiana Paranormal Society?
Yeah. Is a lot of our evidence.
Did it go on the Facebook page?
I didn't go on the Facebook page, but we had a group chat.
Yeah.
We put our evidence in that group chat, a lot of it.
I wonder if I even have a picture of it. No, I'm not even going to attempt it. Someone's got to keep talking. But, yeah, there was something in there that was not fun to experience.
And we experienced it repeatedly.
Yeah, it's not just... It's so crazy because some people are like, yeah, ghosts are... They pop up and then they disappear, you know, but this is...
It was like a territory.
This is something different. And that's why I think this is not your normal run-of-the-mill ghost or malevolent spirit or demon or anything like that, because, you know, you can get rid of them pretty easily. This thing you could not get rid of. You could only keep it there.
Yeah, to lock it in.
Yeah, to lock it in. That is the only reason why you would ever... Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't find that group chat, but it is what it is.
It's probably super old and everyone probably left it.
We had so much evidence in that. I think that's where the video with our good friend Dale was. We'll talk about that later. We're kind of talking more about your...
Who's Dale?
The hammer.
Oh, yeah, the hammer guy. Yeah, I forgot about that in Grant County.
In Grant County. We'll get onto that a little bit later. We're into like the more malevolent, dark, almost what we're experiencing, or we're describing what as that big story is almost, I guess the only thing I could really attune it to is primordial.
Pause.
Pause?
Give me a second. I need to talk to you. Sorry. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Sorry. Had to discuss something with him about 4th of July plans. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's the craziest thing to me is that those experiences, because they were repeated.
Yeah.
Multiple times. Like, it wasn't just, oh, you know, you go to one location and then that's it. No, you go to the same location and something when you knock, something knocks back. And that's exactly how them woods are.
And the thing is a lot of people, they'll investigate a place once.
Never go back.
So once you start going back and the spirits or whatever's in there,
they get familiar with you. They know your fears even better than what you do.
They will,
if they're malicious.
They will definitely come at you a little different, you know.
Yeah.
And if it's a
They'll approach you from a new angle if they haven't broken you yet.
yeah, and that at least that's with malevolent. Now,
And
if it's
that's the same dude. That's the dude that's what he said in Grant County. That dude that we paid to go in there and say, he was like, each time I leave here, I feel different.
yeah,
And it was just so bizarre.
it's funny that dude actually is kind of getting some traction. He's going to a paranormal con. Bob
Really?
Freeman. Yeah, he's going to a Bob Freeman.
Does he still own that building?
I don't know if he does or not.
I would like to get into contact with him because maybe we say screw it and we take the whole setup to into that place.
Where
Imagine
you guys on a paranormal investigation go live throughout the night.
Yeah.
While we're may not be as high quality as this, but say we get on one of our phones and we live stream us paranormal investigating.
Yeah.
There's been some changes in my life. I'm not going to go into them because I legally can't go into them. I'm contract bound to not talk about some of the things that have happened to me the past couple of weeks. But
What?
I can't talk about it live.
Oh, okay.
You know what it has to do with. You're just not thinking quite yet.
No. Oh.
But I want to get back into investigating more.
Yeah,
I would like to get back into the
I wouldn't
field.
like to go into graveyards anymore, like the stupid teenagers that we were, but
Yeah.
probably shouldn't be admitting that live. But
I would like to log down more locations, and that's why I would like to get a hold of Nick Carboni, because they own the State House, and the State House is always open for
he's
investigations.
the dude that owns OWPS, right?
Yeah, and like I said, me and him, we cool. I used to be a member of OWPS. Cool.
Evan is our actual experience. Well, I guess we're all experienced at this point. But you were part of an actual group that did go around and
I had to
amazing places.
I had to sign contracts and do things, and basically my image belonged to them for a minute. You know, so
that would suck to figure out that they still own your image or something.
And
like, you're like, the podcast needs to come down.
Like it was kind of rough how it ended. I didn't like how it ended, but like
I know
cool.
You guys loved each other. Like, that's all I know is that you guys were you guys as a paranormal investigation group were so knitted together.
We were like family. It was, we were always looking after each other.
And I hated that we didn't have that same feeling in our group. But
I think what our group needed was to be more dedicated, like-minded. It was a little... it was cool because we all had our own different belief system. Yeah. You had your beliefs, I had mine. A couple of the others had their own different beliefs than what we had, but I think it made it hard for us to investigate because we wanted to put our beliefs into it.
I don't think so because there was only one that really, really messed everything up for us.
Yeah.
There was only one. And that was the Catholic. And I'm not going into him or going to talk about him too much. But just everything he did was wrong. Everything he did was wrong. Nothing of what he did was right. But that'll be for a later episode or something like that. When I actually have the balls to talk about it.
But, I want to get back into it. I would like to use this YouTube channel when we're not going live streaming like this.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Putting some of the evidence we've got.
We'll switch it from, it's not called like the Wood Chipper Podcast. It'll be called like the Wood Chipper. Welcome to the Wood Chipper.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be the next intro. Welcome to the Wood Chipper, guys.
Well, maybe I would say keep it the podcast because that's gonna be our main content on here. But we
could create a second channel, I guess. But.
Well, we could just put our clips, just give more traction to the channel when we're not live. But no, we had some fun investigations. But no, I want to go to State Street because that is the second house I ever investigated as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first house I investigated was not.
And is that in Fort Wayne?
Yes,
okay.
Was not too far from my first investigation, but unfortunately, I will never get back into that house where my first investigation happened. The guy was a team member of ours. He was ended up moving, so he allowed us in to investigate, and that guy has long since passed away. Mm-hmm. I loved that guy. His name was Matt. Rest in peace, dude. He was the most genuine guy. I loved him to death. He was Buddhist, and
that's always the worst ones to lose.
He
They're just so accepting.
He was such a sweet guy.
Everything.
There was a time where I didn't have a car, so when we'd go on in long investigations, he would pick me up and take me.
Yeah.
And
I remember you telling me, wasn't it out of his way to come pick you up too?
Yeah, it
was like really far out of his way.
But he did it out of love. I loved him so much, and when I heard he passed, it broke my heart. And I couldn't imagine how Nick, the owner of OWPS, because he was his cousin. I couldn't imagine how them guys felt. I didn't know what to say or what to do, but when he passed, it was rough. I love that dude. But no, we were very, like I said, that team was close, and we were close as a team as well. We just, sometimes, I was very bullheaded back then. I still am bullheaded, but I'm a lot more like...
You're a Taurus, what do you expect?
Yeah, I'm a little more tame. My ears are a little more open to things. I accept things a little differently, but it comes with the growing up a little bit, but... Yeah, State House, I remember, that's where the joke started with me.
I just realized how white I look.
You are
I
white.
look like I never go outside.
But remember, everyone would call me the Aaron Goodwin of the group.
Yeah,
From Ghost
you
Adventures.
very well were the Aaron Goodwin. There was a couple times we call you Zach Baggins.
But that was the first location. I walked into the basement, they handed me a camera, told me to go down there, and they locked the door. And they locked the door and left me down there for an hour.
See, I don't think we ever did that to anybody.
No,
did we?
No. Usually me or you would volunteer because I just got so used to it after a while. But
it was just a usual thing for you. Better get used to it now.
But and that was a rough place to investigate because there's something in there, and they're still getting activity right now in that house. That's why I want to go. But in that basement was an EMF trap.
Yeah.
And that is electromagnetic phenomenon.
Did that psych you out, seeing all these things?
Yes, I would start seeing crap in the corners. I'd start hallucinating.
Which actual copper pipes are actually the electromagnetic fields that they put off actually does something to your brain.
Yes,
it does mess with things, and it does show you different things. It's crazy.
And
touch the death crystal, Morty.
And the worst part was there was a laundry chute. So you know what them dudes were doing? I'm
throwing
tripping
shit
out.
Down there.
Yes, they were throwing it because I guess I stood in the perfect spot where they could throw something down the laundry chute at me, and it hit me.
Yeah, I would have loved to be a part of that group, but I was too young. I was still in high school when you were doing. I think I was, right?
Yeah, you were still in high school.
Yeah.
I didn't leave the group till 2020. Unfortunately, I wanted to keep going, but I still have mental health moments, and that was another time in my life I got into a very bad mental health place, and they looked at me and said, "I love you, but
you gotta fix your shit.
You've gotta deal with yourself." And
you can't just go out and do this stuff without having a right mental headspace.
If you're not, it'll play on you.
It messes with you too much. You can even make yourself worse.
Yeah.
By doing that.
And that's
the hard truth.
And I kind of was. That was the moment right after that, if you remember. That's where I went full bore into the occult. I joined the occult for a long time. I'm not going to get into that part of my life. That's something I was like to leave dead.
Witch!
But, that's just a part of my life. I did float, when they put me in the water. Old Salem witch trial.
It'd be more like the witch trial in, what is it, Monty Python's Holy Grail. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. She's a witch. How do you know?
Well, she's...
I can't remember how the skit went.
They all kind of sit there and oh, she smells funny.
And then didn't she turn around and say, "Yeah, I am a witch" or something like that? And then they end up doing killing her or something like that.
No, they say like some practical joke or some, or not a joke. They like psych her out or
Yeah,
some
something
stupid
like
shit.
that. Dude, that was funny.
It was hilarious.
Monty Python and the Hunt for the Holy Grail is
Apparently, there's a third movie that I don't know about.
Oh.
There's Life of Brian. There's Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and then there's a third one that I've never seen. I don't even hear about it.
Must have been a flop, unfortunately.
I'm guessing. Hold on, let me look it up real quick. I'll let you know.
But no, I had some fun experiences in the State House, and now they're saying that hauntings, now that people aren't living in there, have amped up.
Really?
And they're getting a lot more activity, a lot more EVPs, a lot more stuff like that. I was gonna bring this up to you. I wanted to talk about it, possibility of seeing if we can.
There's 5.
There's 5.
Yeah, so there's. And now for something completely different, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Monty Python's Life of Brian, Monty Python Live at the Hollywood Bowl, and then The Meaning of Life.
Huh.
The Meaning of Life is the newest one.
But no, I was going to talk to you, seeing if we bring Nick Carboni onto the podcast. I will chat with him. Just see.
Sure.
That he might draw in some viewers from the OWPS fan base, because they'll be like, "That's Evan." I was popular on OWPS. I was one of the
you
popular
were one of the
ones.
people that everyone requested.
That I don't know, I don't know if that was a bad thing or not. I hope it wasn't, but I was requested a lot on the lives.
Show us Evan. I was also one of the people that yelled at them saying, "Show me Evan."
Yeah, because
show me that big beautiful man.
When we investigated the Bell Mansion, because I was part of the first team that investigated the Bell Mansion. I luckily can hold that title to myself.
Yeah.
That I was one of the first ones in. Before the whole, you have to pay for it. OWPS discovered that location, and I was one of the first teams in there. I would be the one. They were like, "Hey Evan, will you go lay on the embalming table?" And I did. I didn't care. I would get on the embalming table. "Hey Evan, can you just take a camera by yourself and lock yourself in a room?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go do it. And then I'd joke. I wouldn't joke to the point where he didn't know what the investigating was, but I would joke. But I was. I guess I got the cameraman mystery, because remember, I ran cameras for them for a while. I wasn't.
Oh yeah, you just weren't there. You were still there, and then it was like, "Who's the cameraman?"
And then they caught me on the live, and they were like, "Ooh,
that's the cameraman. Let's talk then. Let's talk about the cameraman."
Because I was 21, 20 or 21 at the time. So they were like, "There's a young kid just out of high school running cameras for him. We're interested."
Yeah.
Because a lot of the team was older than me by 20 years.
Yeah. Nick's
in his late 30s. So everyone was older than me. And,
old.
But no, State House was a fun place to investigate. I didn't get personal crazy experiences.
Yeah.
But definitely got activity in that place. The most experiences I had in the location was at the private residence, and we ended up getting what was it, the REM pod activity.
Oh yeah, I forgot you guys had a REM pod. I'm so jealous of you guys for having that.
The REM pod going in circles like there was a cow on it. I do remember that was the most activity I've experienced. And then I became numb to it, because I then once again joined the occult, do a couple rituals, summon and conjure things.
Yeah.
You start coming numb to it. Still kind of numb to it, the spooky something come flying through this door right now. I'm like, "Woo!" I'll be like,
"What up?
What up? Okay, whatever. You're on crack. Whatever you say.
What's happening?"
Yeah, hey.
Yeah.
Alright, annoyingly be like, "Where my hug at?"
Yeah. And he'd be like, "Eh." Walk out.
Alright, so yeah, I'm kinda numb at it. It's. But no, I want to get back into investigating, but man, we have gone way off topic. We were talking about shadow figures. And I kind of want to segue back into it. So, what is your personal thought on shadow figures? Are they evil? They're malevolent? Are they just not even have enough energy to fully manifest themselves? So that's the only way they can.
I think that
manifest?
might be the case, or they don't. I also think shadow figures that how the light spectrum is to us. You know how that is. How it is to dogs and stuff. I feel like dogs and stuff, and like dogs and cats can see that stuff a hell of a lot better than we can. But if you like really look at them without your peripherals, because you know how your God, it's so hard to explain. Like your eyes bend light.
Yeah.
So that's what I think it is. Is like you look, something is actually there, but as soon as you actually make direct eye contact with it, or it gets into your field of focus, it's gone.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many times I've been able to look away and still see the same thing standing in the corner, but as soon as I turn back, it's gone.
I've had that same thing happen. It happens at my current job because my current job has been open for 200 years.
Yeah, you got a lot of people that died in there.
And he also is tied to an old hotel as well.
Really?
Yeah, I've been in there. You're not allowed to be in there, but I've been in there. But now not a lot of people go up there because I heard there's cameras up there now. Oh. There's so many times where out of the corner of my eyes I see a figure or something, and I can tell they're walking up to me. Like you can just do like they're walking, they're coming at you, and then you turn and there's just nothing. And just okay, what was that? There's been some times where coworkers have seen me do it, and if there is a coworker watching, you've probably experienced it. You just don't know it. Where I just randomly turn and I'm like. I look around for a second and go back
what
to
the fuck was that?
I'm going back to what I'm doing. I am most likely seeing something out of the corner of my eye, and I'm just trying not to tell you. But because I haven't seen any lately. Not that I'm aware of. It's been so hot in there, you ain't even got time to think about ghosts here lately.
Yeah.
It's been like hundreds of degrees, like 100 degrees.
That's right, because the machines that you guys run put off a lot of fucking heat. Don't they?
We're cooking to death at work, so like we're not even thinking about that stuff.
You guys got like one window air conditioner, right?
Well, we don't have any air conditioners in that plant at all. It is.
That's so bad. You guys need.
That's why you guys need to like and subscribe so we can get rich and famous off this YouTube channel, and I don't have to go to work anymore.
Same. Do it for me, please.
So
I'll make you a walking stick if you like and subscribe. No, I'm not. No, I'm just kidding.
You watch out. There's a legality behind that.
Not anymore, because I said don't do it.
Don't do it.
Like and subscribe, just don't ask for a stick. But anywho, yeah, I think the whole shadow figure thingy, you know, I believe in it. Like it's not something that I would call malevolent, but you motherfucker, you piece of shit. You just got everyone look at Evan's hand. Look at what Evan's got. Yeah, look at what Evan's got in his hand.
Blow up Chad if you're angry.
Oh god. But I don't think they're malevolent at all. I don't think they're evil. Like, I think they are either one, misunderstood, two, whatever, you know, it all depends. Like, if you see, like, shadow figure every now and again, because you consider him shadow figure, you think that's bad. That's why it's really how you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really your own beliefs on it. If you see them as evil, they're gonna be evil. They might mess with you, or you know, you're gonna draw fear from it. Me, it's, oh, what's up? And that's it.
Oh, you're annoying.
Yeah, you're annoying. Get the hell out of my house. What are you still doing here? It's always with the questions like, why are you in my house? Why is my window broken? Why are all my knives gone?
Is that my perfume you've got?
Is that my perfume?
If you sneeze and I say, God bless you, don't ask, how I got in your house, what happened to my window. Just say thank you.
Why are you screaming while running at me?
Just. But.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, bro.
Don't worry about it.
Just accept it.
Just accept it.
Um.
East onto the chakra.
Ease onto the chakra. That is the best inside joke that nobody ever heard except for us three.
Really? You haven't said
Yes.
that to anyone else?
I think my girlfriend knows.
Oh, okay.
I think I accidentally told her. I can't remember.
Ease
I
onto
can't
the
remember.
chakra.
Rose, if you're watching, can you please confirm or deny if I've told you about the ease onto the chakra joke or not? I would like to know the answer.
Now.
It's like 10 years old,
yeah,
dude.
no, well, not 10, more like 7, but yeah.
It is still there, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, shit, that's funny.
The stone, I believe, is still there. But, but now that we kind of, let's just kind of wrap up the
Podcast.
No, not wrap up the podcast.
Oh.
We've been talking about shadow figures here for a minute.
Oh, yeah, let's go on to the next topic. Do you want to take a little break?
Let's take a little bit of a break, and then we'll come back, and I want to segue into demons.
Alright. We will be right back. Thank you for listening to the Wood Chipper Podcast. We'll be right back. Woohoo. And we're back. Welcome to the Wood Chipper Podcast. If you're just joining or have been here, hello. My name is Dakota. That is my best buddy, Evan. Say hi, Evan.
Hi.
All right. What is it?
So we had just segued people obviously that are watching to the one fan who's been watching this whole time. You the boss.
You're a G.
You a G, bro.
You the GOAT.
You the GOAT, bro. Well, we were just talking about shadow figures. We were kind of wrapping up. There's not much to shadow figures, but we're going over in general about all the paranormal and the types of hauntings, like your shadow figures. We're about to segue into demons, and what demons are. Then we're gonna go into like our angels. Unfortunately, I think for what we got time for today, we're gonna stop after demons, and then next week pick up on angels.
Or we can do it later tonight after the fireworks.
Don't matter either way. I don't.
Maybe you guys will get lucky and get a 2-part special.
Yeah, we gotta take a break in between. One of our buddies wants us to come over and shoot fireworks, so we're probably gonna do that.
Want to throw a mortar around it, Evan?
I might not run.
You might not run. You better fucking run.
So this might be the last time you see any of us with 10 fingers. But
he said, "Sure, I can bring you along." Sure? Question mark.
But we're gonna talk about angels. We're gonna talk about just regular spirits.
Okay.
Talk about,
what do you want to know about demons?
So, what's your belief in them? Like, what's your thought? A lot of people know, as the people who watch this podcast and know me personally, I'm a Christian, so it's very stereotypical what I know what a demon is. So I want to know what your thoughts are what a demon is.
My thoughts? I think they're... So, obviously they've been cast out from heaven.
Yeah.
That's pretty set and clear point. There are a couple different beliefs that I have regarding that. Like, it depends on if you're talking about the Goetia demons or if you're talking about just the run-of-the-mill fuck around and find out kind of.
Yep.
Which one you want to know about?
Well, let's talk about your regular run-of-the-mill. We'll go into the Ars Goetia demons, because they're more sophisticated. We can get into our regular run-of-the-mills, like the imps,
We'll get into the imps first, and then we'll go up.
Yeah, like
Alright.
Imps and stuff like that.
So those I actually do believe are evil spirits. So those do not have any sort of, there's nothing to gain from them. There's nothing to learn. Like, they haven't been, like, it's just, someone that they decided to cast down to hell. Or something. That's what I feel like the demons that are perceived nowadays are. Like, the ones that you see on film and stuff are not the same ones that I believe in, or I think of. Like, as of currently, I am a Norse pagan. But before that, I used to be a Luciferian, which I used to commune with demons. That's a better way to say it.
Yeah, and I was
way to say it.
And I was a part of that as well for a while.
Yeah, Evan was a part of it. Was. Keyword was. But that had to do with a bunch of learning, asking certain things. Like, there wasn't just shit that they would just give you, like wealth or anything, but you can ask for it, you can pray for it. If you devote your time and worship into that stuff, stuff does usually happen. That's how I got into it, because, praying to God never did anything for me until I prayed to someone else and I got a response back. That's the real, hey, maybe this is better because, someone's actually talking to me. That's how I really got into it. And I was like that for the longest time. I was that way. Because they're the only ones that would reach out. That was before I had friends and everything else. That's how
my demons were my friends.
Yeah, that's legit exactly how my story goes, I'd have to say. But, yeah, it was... I don't think they're entirely bad.
Right.
They're not all bad. Some of them are... Some people are like, yeah, they did this, they did that, they did this, but, if you think back to the story of Job, God made that deal, that bet.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
God grants. If you read the book of Job, God allows the devil to a point. You are not allowed to kill,
Yeah.
but you can torment that person's life as much as you possibly want.
So if you want anyone to fucking blame, at least in my book, yeah. Because there's a reason why that shit's happening to you. And you can say it's all part of God's plan and all that other stuff, but that's not how I feel about it. But anywho, we're off topic. Anything else you'd like to know?
So with the lesser demons that are just, I would say,
the
pawns versus the actual dukes, archdukes, presidents, and stuff like that, the princes, the kings, the lords, that
there is a hierarchy. You did not know that there is a hierarchy where you have your triangle, and
yeah, there is a hierarchy to hell. We can bring that up, but man, me and you are probably so out of practice of what the hierarchy is. I know a lot of the titles, but I don't know all of them.
Yeah.
I know the main ones because when me and you were messing around with them, we went straight to the top.
we did not hold back.
We did not
straight
mess
to
around.
The scary motherfucker, and that was it.
Yeah, we went straight to the scary son of a guns that would ruin your life if you crossed them. We didn't mess around with no peon demons or nothing like that. We went straight to the top, and but the thing with the smaller demons, I don't know if you agree with me, but I think a lot of the demonic hauntings in the United States where the spirit or the demon will respond and be like, I'm Legion, I am this, I am that. A lot of times I think it's just a smaller demon
playing a bigger role.
Just because...
Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
It's easier to terrify a person by making up a lie of who they are.
Like, when you do, like, summonings and stuff like that, there is a level of fear that you have going into it.
Yeah.
There's a level of fear of talking to something that you know has control, that you know, or I guess not control, that you know has a bigger say in the world than what you do.
Oh yeah, and there is power in names.
Yeah, there's power in it. There really is.
It says in the Bible there's power in names. So if you want to argue me if that's not biblical or not to people who are Christian who are going to watch this, there is power in names. Jesus' name is supposedly the most authoritative name in all of the universe. But there is power. That's why when we're talking about demons and I slip up and say a name, he goes, "Oh crap, you just said a name. Guess what?
You're gonna be thinking about him for the next 5 hours. Thank God."
Yeah. So that means when you get that name, it'll start manifesting. But I think a lot of lower level demons, because it is so easy to control humans. We are so gullible, and I don't want to say this the wrong way, but stupid. That
money.
Like a little demon that's probably in the very bottom of the food chain. I am Belial, blah blah blah. I'm gonna destroy you.
Here we go.
And you are freaking out.
Not only that, I feel like they use that to scare you, but there are so many broken people today that all it takes is one little.
Yeah.
I'm there. And just to completely destroy their beliefs, their life, their everything.
And I think personally that is what a demon's job is. I don't know what your belief is. My belief is that
my thing is that it's a teaching moment to don't let yourself be dragged to the dark.
Yeah. Pretty
much. Don't go to the dark side of the force.
They're there, and they're there to destroy you. Personally, to me, that's how it's been. But those little demons, I think, and that comes to the premise of, yes, there are higher demons, and they use those names because they're under the authority of those names.
Yeah.
Say, yes, that demon was sent by Belial or something like that. And so it uses that name, but that large demon, that head demon that it's under, is not going to lift its finger till its last resort. So a lot of times I think it's just like little imp or a little, like, maybe not even an imp, maybe a little bit higher than that, like a little go-getter. I need you to do the dirty work for me. Because those higher demons, they don't lift their finger unless you're working directly with them, or they're about to lose control of the situation. So they step in and they knock everything back in the line.
Yeah. As we said, there is a hierarchy.
Yeah,
it really is.
They are the last resort, and unfortunately, me and you have had multiple experiences with the top of the food chain.
Yeah, and there's some times where it's like they could be showing you a sign, but because you're so in fear of them, it's not considered a sign. It's, hey, I'm here, I'm gonna mess you up, or you know what I mean? It all depends on how you see them. That goes into my whole theory that I think all religions are the same, where they just are masks.
Oh yeah.
Like they just, well, you're now North Pagan, I am now Loki. Instead of it being like, oh, I am Lucifer, I'm taking off the mask, I'm now Loki. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's the same entity, it's the same different type of energy with the, different traits. Like, they put on a new suit.
Yeah, and that makes sense because there's multiple names.
To keep themselves relevant.
Yeah, like.
To keep you getting power, like, just, Loki was called the Trickster for a long time, and then, Lucifer with the apple of Eden, or the apple of Eden, you know what I'm talking about, the whole story. He was known as a trickster too.
Yeah.
For that little time. Or the seducer, the snake. So was Loki. Loki was also considered the snake.
An adversary.
Yeah.
And Loki stood against Odin a lot. Yeah. But my thoughts are a little bit different. Because I feel like when you're in the presence of a true demon.
Yeah.
Even the lower ones, she'll be like, yeah, you're all bark and no bite. But when, let's say, when Astaroth, you summon Astaroth and they come into the room,
Yeah.
You are in the presence of hierarchy.
You feel it like you're kneeling to a king or something.
Yeah, you're like, and you're not kneeling because you love them. You're kneeling because you're terrified,
afraid.
And it's like, I'm gonna lose my head. That's
also with the whole thing. Like, if you fear them, like I know a lot of the paranormal hunts that we did, it psyched me out enough to where I don't really commune with those spirits anymore, or them demons. I don't commune with them anymore because it just. Now, or how it used to, it would sabotage my own agenda. My own, I just got done having this crazy fucking experience with the low level. Now I feel like I'm going to have even a worse experience talking to, anybody of the hierarchy.
So I guess since we've kind of talked about the low levels, they're more like your pawns on a chessboard. They're kind of just going because they're being told to go.
Yeah.
Let's get into the hierarchy, the Harsh Galatia, and the top. We can go through some of the levels, like the Dukes, the Archdukes.
Now, I don't remember all of them by name.
Yeah, I don't either. But there are levels of power and hell, and what we were talking about, low levels and stuff. They're just pawns, go-getters. They're really nothing. They're the ones that they consider part of the legions. And these, as you go up the tiers,
you also get into different levels of hell. So it's like the 9 circles.
Yeah.
Am I right? Am I correct about that?
They say that's from Dante's Inferno, and there's no real knowing of what hell actually is.
Well, I know there's in Hades, in Greek mythology.
There are planes.
Different realms.
There's planes. There's the Lake of Fire. The 3 planes of hell is Sheol, Hades,
and the river Styx, I think.
And no, they don't mention the Styx in the Bible.
Oh yeah, no. But I mean, in Greek mythology, they didn't mention the Styx.
And then there's basically, they call it the prison. The prison is the holding cell where a lot of the, and not every demon is in the prison right now. Only the worst of the worst are in the prisons right now. and that's where it comes from. The Book of Enoch at the Fall of the Watchers. Only Azazel and Zayamzia and a couple of the other ones are actually locked in the prisons down there. The Lake of Fire is where the end is. If you read the Bible, it says in the book of Revelations that at the end God will have his triumphant victory and they will be cast in the lake of fire and cease to exist. That is the second death. There is no coming back. Yeah. You are gone. You don't even exist.
Yeah. It's like your Control-Alt-Delete button.
Yeah, you're gone.
That's literally the task manager for everything. You hop in that hole, you're done.
So think about that. But then you've got
I think that's the only story that I've ever heard of energy being destroyed and properly being destroyed and never to be reconstituted again somewhere else.
But there is levels. I think it more so, not so much like the Nine Rings, but there are domains. You are in the domain of Astaroth, you are in the domain of Beelzebub, you are in the domain of Belial. The lords are their domains.
Yeah.
And it ties to the sins. What sins are, because they call it the 7 deadly sins, and I think there's 7 princes.
Yeah.
And then Lucifer is
head
honcho, and then Satan is under him. And then
there's 3 different things. So if you're confused by that, there is a there's different God, how do I say it? There's different phases. You contact Lucifer, you contact Satan if you want to hurt somebody. There's some religions that are oh yeah, they're both the same thing, but there's also some things that they're different. Lucifer, was made to rule over hell. Satan was made in hell. You know what I mean? He was just a failed project or something like that.
I don't know, but and then behind Lucifer and Satan is Beelzebub, and then Belial, and then it just keeps going down from there. And there's Astaroth, and I'm saying a lot of demonic names here, and I'm naming princes and kings and lords, so things might get a little chaotic. I already had somebody text me saying that their stream crashed. I said it's probably a good thing because we're saying a lot of names, but
oh, they're not back in?
No, they can't. Their whole computer crashed.
Oh.
But
was it Rose?
Yeah.
It's probably why.
That woman, I'll say this on stream, my girlfriend has been prayed over by me about 1,000 times. She holds multiple objects that I have blessed and anointed. So when something demonic goes on, usually she's some divine force. She's gone.
I have a turtle.
A turtle. She usually just that's because I don't want her around it.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone I love around that stuff because what I went through was pretty bad. I changed as a whole entire person when I was in the occult. Everyone sees me as nice, cute, and cuddly. I was not. I was a manipulative fuck. That was definition of trash when I was in the occult, dude. It was bad.
Well, it was so crazy because mine and your experiences were so different.
Yeah, I was a complete utter piece of crap.
You embodied it. Yeah. How I would say a Christian would view it.
I was very hateful. Hateful.
I tried not to be. I tried to be myself, and all I did was, when I communed, it was for my own benefit or someone else's benefit. Hey, help me out with this. I'll pray I'll give you some liquor or something in a bowl.
Yeah. I was a very hateful person. I wanted to, so if you want to know what my biggest thing that got me into it was and I talked to you about it, and I'm not scared to talk about it now, is I wanted forbidden knowledge. I wanted to know things that God said was off limits to humans.
Yeah.
And I would go to kind of like how in the Book of Enoch situation, how they taught him magic, how to do war, how they taught him a lot, and
how to
God
create the sword and.
Yeah, God actually considered that stuff forbidden magic, and that's why the Watchers were put in the prison. They taught man things that man was not supposed to know.
And they bred with man, too.
And they bred with man, which was the most heinous crime of all. So,
Supposedly.
at least for the angels, that's probably one of the more heinous
Yeah.
crimes. Maybe
Well,
not.
because technically, doesn't that mean, like, if they did breed with the humans and stuff? Like, if we're all God's children,
Yeah.
technically that's incest.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about
But
some of those stuff.
so like with the hierarchy demons, they make the wheels turn.
Yeah.
They have their own specific things, like their own specific titles that help them with
their own realm, their own planes.
Like, and they usually tie with sins. Like one's gluttony, one is.
Even though there's way more, there's like 50.
Yeah,
30.
You got like gluttony, wrath.
And they all are different aspects of gluttony. Like one could be lust, one could be greed, sloth. Yeah, it's so many different things.
They are the embodiments of basically sin in man, and
like there's different ones where it's like pride of yourself, pride of your skill, pride of your work. Different
narcissism.
Pride of narcissism.
Man, we had so many. We were like, like I said, they usually don't get involved, like just for the heck of it. Usually there's something to gain for them to get involved, or they're being summoned.
Yeah.
You're not gonna bump into Lucifer
walking down the road
willy nilly, just messing with somebody.
What do you truly desire?
He's not gonna be like, tell me what you desire. It's not. That's just not how that's gonna happen. You've probably summoned him, or you're part of the demonic bloodlines. Those exist.
Yeah.
They have been proven to exist. That there are demonic bloodlines in man.
My phone or yours?
Mine. So there are demonic bloodlines. So you're either part of a demonic bloodline and they're checking their bloodline, or they're.
How do you even know? How do you check?
They know. The families know.
Oh, okay.
The families know. A lot of them are unfortunately running this world.
Well, I'm just saying, what if people like let's say me, how I don't know anything like that, but I got into it like at a very early age, and then like I don't know anything about my mom's side of the family, and I barely know anything about my dad's side of the family because there's a lot of the family that just were completely cut off or were dead or gone before I even.
Like I talked last week about the Windsors.
Yeah.
They have kept track of their bloodline, and it goes all the way back to before Noah's flood. Mm-hmm. And it ties back to a fallen angel. I can't remember the name of the fallen angel, but they say they're descended from fallen angels. And in that same bloodline, Vlad Tepes is in Dracula. That same bloodline, who is Vlad Dracula. They say the orchestrator of vampirism, at least from Bram Stoker, the author.
Like how I know him is Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah, Vlad the
Impaler. The one that fucking
He's pretty he's messed up, but he did it for a reason.
Yeah, it was what was it, to scare the Spanish or something?
No, it was to scare off the Muslims.
Was it? Really?
Yeah, Transylvania was between Christian Europe and Muslim Middle East. Transylvania was right there in the middle of the Ottoman Empire and Catholic West.
Because Transylvania's in Russia, right?
No.
Or near Russia?
Transylvania is right next to Croatia, I think. So it's literally right in the middle. I think they almost ended up part of the Soviet Union at one point. But
gosh, could you imagine having Dracula as a damn Soviet leader?
But there are bloodlines, and like I've got a royal bloodline myself. We can take ourselves back to Charlemagne. Mm-hmm. My family goes back to Charlemagne, and then so I could have some weird blood and stuff with me. My family's been heavily in the Catholic Church papacy.
Yeah.
Our coat of arms actually has doves above it in Europe. That's a symbol of the church, so we've been very and high-ranking members of the church. I'm not saying like popes, but we're up there. But
like cardinals or whatever.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I think our family got dishonored after a while because of things. My family, they believe I have a family curse. It has to do with alcoholism, money, drugs, a lot of stuff. Obviously, in my life, I plan to break it. But I think we kind of had a fall from grace during that time. But so I have a bloodline, and also in that bloodline, I am related, and you're gonna find this hilarious. Is I am 16 times removed from Prince Albert.
Yeah.
He is one of my cousins, 16 times removed. So eventually, if you start doing your DNA and stuff, you can figure out what bloodlines and stuff you come from. You may have just a normal bloodline. You come from a family of blacksmiths.
It's crazy that we ever actually talking about bloodlines, because I actually got an email the other day asking me to register my blood for a Geno project or something like that for Parkview.
Huh.
They were asking for, actually, I still have the email. They were asking for my blood for DNA testing.
Bloodlines are very important when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, they were talking about certain diseases and stuff, like what I am more likely to get.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff.
It's called the Helix program.
Helix program, okay. But bloodlines and the demonic are important, because the demonic, the ones that are not in prison, are allowed in this earth. And if the angels could procreate with man, why couldn't the demons? You know what I mean?
That's the email.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, legit fucking, and they wanted me to come in and donate,
blood.
or not donate blood, but they would literally just, for free, take it and test it. I was like, wow, that's crazy. No, they actually wanted blood.
Oh, you gotta be careful with that. Yeah. You never know what weird government crap. I want your blood.
Yeah, they got my blood now. Well, they had my blood when they
because Bill Clinton's a vampire, and he's got a blood bank in his house. Have you ever heard that?
No, I've never heard that.
Government officials are stealing blood from the blood banks to keep the vampires fed. There's your joke for the night.
What the hell? That's our theory. Today's theory.
Bill Clinton's a vampire.
Jesus.
If we disappeared, Evan said it here first. We knew it.
Yep.
Vampires, they're real.
Yep. That'll be crazy. To the one viewer who watches, watch out for us. Watch over us.
Watch over us, number one viewer.
Yep, number one viewer, or one viewer.
Whoever you are loved.
Yep.
I don't know who you are, but you're loved. It
Probably
ain't
Arnold.
me.
Probably Arnold.
It's not me. I actually have YouTube absolutely shut completely.
Really?
So it ain't me. But like I said, the hierarchy of demons, it's a give and take.
Yeah.
You ask for this, so they give it to you. You've got to give something in return.
Which that can also be substituted for like offerings and stuff like that. Not like souls or anything, because I don't think I've ever had anyone. Oh, it is Arnold! It is!
Yes, sir.
There's our Alucard that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, the Alucard demon walking around everywhere, shadow figure.
Yep.
Hat Man's in the chat.
Yep.
Better change your YouTube name to the Hat Man.
Yep. The Hat Man.
Rose was the second one watching, but like I said, all of her crap just crashed. When we started talking about demons, they went, and she can't get it back up.
Bizarre.
Very bizarre. So, I think we're out of time.
Yeah, we're just about out of time.
But like I said, we might do a two-parter.
You got 2 accounts. Good for you.
Good for you.
I also
Did you forget your login?
Hey, did you forget your login? Well, I think that'll be all for us, folks. Is there anything else you want to say?
Unless you want demons in your life,
stay the hell out of it.
You might want to pray after this, especially if you're watching this after the fact.
Unless you're into that sort of thing, like I am. You don't need to. They'll just come kiss you goodnight and tuck you in.
Yeah, if you don't want. If you don't want. But if you don't want demons in your life, pray yourself up. Probably should have gave a warning in the first place.
Yeah.
But it's a oopsies. I apologize for all the real demonic names I said. I did not say fake names. Those were real names I was mentioning.
Yeah.
I do apologize.
They're all in books. You can look them up.
Yep.
Not advised, but you can look them up.
Eventually, I feel bad because we didn't fully explain what the Ars Goetia was.
Well,
but
we can come back tonight if we want.
If we want, we can.
Yeah.
We'll think about it.
After fireworks or something.
Yeah, we'll think about it. But Gucci Gang.
Yeah. Well, that's all. Thank you for tuning into the Wood Chipper Podcast. My name is Dakota. That's my best friend Evan.
Hey.
And we will see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.